Roy, so you know our philosophy. We normally don't look in the rearview mirrors because sometimes the past is a little bit shaky, but in your case, the past got you to where you are today.
Aw.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, so you're from Washington State, right?
Washington State originally.
Okay.
Well, you do your research, don't you?
I do my homework.
Yeah, because I never tell anybody about Washington State.
You know, why not?
I don't know, it was like depressing times in my life.
Oh.
Yeah, like I didn't really come out of my shell until I moved to Vegas.
Okay.
So I always call that home. I lived there for 12 years.
Okay.
So that's where I kind of grew. I became a comic in Vegas, and you know everything just started happening.
So you go to Vegas.
Yeah.
And where do you start?
In Vegas, there's no club to start at. Like there's no improv or anything. I mean there is, but they do 7-day-a-week shows. If a comic comes in, he starts Monday and he ends on Sunday. And then a new comic comes in on Monday. You know what I mean? So what I had to do is I had to create like my own shows. So I would go to coffee houses and do stand up there. And then it got to the point where people were coming out to see me. So I would rent out theaters. Wow. And I would buy a theater and sell tickets. Me and my mom selling tickets, and we would sell it out. It was hilarious. It was so funny because my mom would always take like a stack of tickets, and then she's like, "I sold out." I'm like, "You sold 300 tickets? I sold out. It's amazing how they all want to see you." And then come to find out, my mom is the one that bought all the tickets, and she was giving them away for free to her friends. I had no idea.
That's a support system.
Yeah, that's what she did. So it was really cool that she did that. She always had my back that way. That was her way of supporting me too. I remember she rubbed that in my face because she didn't want me to be a comic. She wanted me to go to college and get a degree. She just thought, you know, being a comic was like a hobby. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's just doing it for fun. Yeah. I'll support his hobby, right? And then I got, you know, we got into one of these arguments about, Mom, I don't want to go to college. I want to be a comedian. You should support it. And then she threw it in my face. I support you. I'm the one that buys all the tickets.
So you're in coffee houses.
Yeah.
Where does your break come? Everyone always needs that lucky day. How do you get that break?
That went on for like 9-10 years.
Okay.
Like literally, I was doing coffee houses and theaters, you know, that I was renting myself and booking myself. That went on for like 9-10 years, and I was making good money, and I had like a decent job, so I was kind of getting comfortable, and I was getting motivated to move to LA, and every comic was telling me, you need to move to LA or else you're just gonna stay here. No one's gonna know who you are. And then I finally moved to LA, and it took me about a year to get into one of the top clubs there. It was called the Laugh Factory. Okay. It's still called the Laugh Factory, but it's a hard club to get into. But I got in, and once I got in, I was doing 6 shows a week, just pounding it out. And then from that, I got noticed by a booker that books a festival in Montreal. And when I got that, when I went to Montreal, I did this thing called the New Faces show, which is like the up-and-coming comics. And when I did that, the booker from the Tonight Show saw me and gave me my Tonight Show appearance.
This is his first appearance on the Tonight Show. Please welcome Jo Koy.
And literally, when I did the Tonight Show, my career changed. It was over. Overnight. Like, literally overnight. Like, when you hear people say that, it literally happened overnight.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jo Koy!
You know, and comedy's hard, man. Our breaks are hard. It's far in between, you know what I mean, for us to catch a break. I chose my path. Like, I knew I didn't want to do Last Comic Standing. And there was another thing that was offered to me, Kings of Comedy. Yeah, and they offered that to me, and I turned that down. I was like, no, I don't want to. If I'm going to be on Comedy Central, I'm going to do it by myself. Why am I going to do it with an Asian theme show when I could just be funny by myself, and it doesn't have to be an Asian theme, you know? But it all worked out. Like 2 years later, I had my own special. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to say no to the right things.
Being a Chelsea Handler and Chelsea lately, that's a lot of people know you from there. What has that show done and going on tour with her, and what is that? How much further has that taken you?
You know, me and Chelsea go back, man. We go back like a few years. Chelsea got the first pilot on E! Called Chelsea Handler Show, and I was supposed to be her sidekick. She was like, I want you to be my sidekick. I want you to be the Asian sidekick. And in my head, I was like, I don't want to be a sidekick. Like, I want to be where you're at. I want to be. I didn't tell her this directly. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then when it came down to it, I kind of turned it down. And then, and she cursed me out. What are you doing? Are you stupid? Are you dumb? The show's going to be a hit. And then, long story short, Chelsea lately came about. You know, I haven't talked to her in about 1.5 years, 2 years. And then I get the phone call. You know what I mean? She's like, I want you to be on the panel. Well, she didn't call me. Her book, you know, the Talent Guy book, but, you know, it was from her. Yeah, and then she put me on the show. I thought she was going to not let me ever get on that show because of that.
Awesome.
But I ended up on the panel, and then, of course, you know, our chemistry, you know, it's just we work good together, I guess. And now I'm on it weekly. I do it once a week. She's so giving and so nice, and she doesn't have to share that show with those other comics. She doesn't have to share it with me because that show can exist without us, and she does, you know what I mean? And then she doesn't have to take us on tour because she doesn't need to do that. She doesn't have to pay us as much as she does, but she does because she's so giving, and I'm gonna pay forward. You know, yeah, that corny saying like "pay it forward." I am definitely gonna pay it forward because I want to be like her. Yeah, man, she's a great person, and I want to be like that.
If you want more Jo Koy, you can buy tickets for his upcoming show here in Phoenix at Stand Up Live on April 29th through 30th, or in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand May 5th through 7th.